That's what it sounded like when I got home this evening and my neighbor was out there washing his car, that old dickhead next door. I pulled up in that Scion and that motherfucker's out there washing his car. He don't never wash that fucking car. It was already clean. He just wanted to catch me outside, and as soon as I stepped out of the car, he went, ha ha ha, that's fucking funny. How long you think that's gonna stay out there? You know, his old Yankee voice, and I went, 10 more fucking years you keep acting stupid. That's exactly what I told him. He said, huh, it ain't gonna stay out there long, I can guarantee you that. I said, well, you'll be fucking wrong, because I just left the town hall and this is the goddamn paperwork they gave me. You fucking moron. Yeah, this is the bill that was passed. It's called the House Bill 1353. Let me get into that right quick, but I got something else I want to talk about, and then we'll get back to that. This is about the HOA shit that I told you I'm smarter than these motherfuckers. And I told him, I said, dude, he said, oh, I heard you said don't poke the bear. I said, well, you're going to figure out what that means soon enough. I'm just beginning, asshole. I sent it to him on his phone. I said, read that shit. And then he went, I'm not on the HOA anymore. And I was like, well, who fucking mentioned the HOA? That means he told. He told on himself. Yes, I'm smarter than him. I never said shit about the HOA. He told on himself, so he's the one that told. And so let me just get to something right quick. I want to show y'all a little something. Let me pause the video. So here's something you might want to read. This is from Tim Couch. He bought an amp from me. And read this right here. PSA to all the idiots who thought about buying amp from this dude and didn't. I just wanted to say thank you. And next time, don't you dare hesitate. I got a brand new amplifier with the Lexan bottom for less than half of what it costs new. And the best part is when they say, who did you get that from? I get to say, these nuts. Yeah, had another dude ask me if he could get some parts off of a P2002 if I had any. I said, yeah. I went to the post office this morning, mailed it out. I said, I need your address. I was going to mail it for free, but he paid me. And I said, you know, he didn't have to pay. He said, man, I want to pay you for your trouble. So he paid me more than it cost to ship. So I made a quick $10. I mean, you know what I mean? And the post office is 5 minutes from my house. But this right here, I went to the town hall. You know, I already knew the law, but I wanted them to print this out from the town hall so I can bring it back and shove it up my damn neighbor's nose holes when he started talking stupid, which he did right out there. He called the cops 2 times. I already know. The cops was in my neighborhood again this morning. Right as I pulled in, the cops was pulling out. So yesterday he called the cops, and he called the cops today to try to look at my front yard. And what he don't understand, there ain't fucking shit they can do about it. Cause right here is called General Assembly of North Carolina, Session 2009. This law's been in effect since 2009, yeah. House Bill 1353. Short title, no ordinances or / deeds may stop clotheslines. So this motherfucker thought since he was on the HOA a couple years ago and he knows all the numbers to call that he can get anything done because he's from fucking New York and stuff. You know what I'm saying? From fucking New York. He thinks his shit don't stink and everything. Well, he got a fucking eye-opener when I sent this to his goddamn telephone. And then, boy, he was mad as a motherfucker. How long you think that's gonna last? I said, 9-10 years you keep running your fucking mouth. I said, guys, my other neighbors was outside and heard it all, laughing like hell. And I showed him. I took it and showed it to my other neighbors in front of that dickhead. And then I sent him this on his phone and said, there you go, you can read it and send that to all the HOA son of a bitches. Because they ain't got a foot to stand on. I'm smarter than y'all. I can't help it, y'all are retarded. Yeah, so let's read along here. A bill to be entitled, an act to provide that city ordinances and county ordinances cannot prohibit or have the effect of prohibiting the installation installation of clotheslines not visible by a person on the ground and not facing areas open to common or public access. That would be something like you putting it on the sidewalk or in the fucking park. This is talking about residencies. Now, it'll explain this in a minute. So having it in my front yard is 100% legit. I went to town hall and they said, if he comes up here bitching and moaning, he's going to get this same piece of paper that you asked for because you're legit. I said, they done called the law 2 times. He said, well, they ain't going to enforce shit. And he said, I'm code enforcement and I'm not. He said, I'm not going down there. The guy knows me. He said, I ain't going down there. He said, you're right and they're wrong. I said, I appreciate it. So it put limitations on regulating clotheslines. A, no city ordinance shall prohibit or have the effect of prohibiting the installation of a clothesline, and no person shall be denied permission by a city to install a clothesline for a residential property, which is where I'm at, residential property. As used in this section, the term residential property means property where the predominant use is for residential purposes. That's like I said, you can't do this at the park or at the gym or nothing like that. This is at your residence. They cannot tell you where to put a clothesline or how to do it. You can hang the motherfucker from a skyscraper if that's what you want to put. The section does not prohibit an ordinance regulating the location or screening of clotheslines, which means they can't tell you what kind of clothesline to use. They can't tell you what clothespins to use. They can't tell you where to put it. And what he don't realize is I'm being extra nice because if I wanted to be a super dick, I can put 2 clothesline poles right beside his house and hang them clothes right beside his house. Yeah, right on the property line. It says this section does not prohibit an ordinance regulating the location or screening of clotheslines, provided the ordinance does not have the effect of preventing the reasonable use of a clothesline for residential property. Well, reasonable to me would mean 9 years if I wanted to stay out there for 9 years. That's reasonable. You don't stop wearing clothes unless you're in porn. C, the section does not prohibit an ordinance that would prohibit the location of clotheslines that are visible by a person on the ground and that face areas open to common or public access. So in my yard, that's not public access. That's not common access. That's private property. C, or let's go past that. Section 2, limitations on regulating clotheslines. A, no county ordinance shall prohibit or have the effect of prohibiting the installation of clotheslines for residential property. No person shall be denied permission by a county to install a clothesline for a residential property. As used in this section, the term residential property means property where the predominant use is for residential purposes. You know, where you live. B, this section does not prohibit an ordinance regulating the location or screening of clotheslines, provided the ordinance does not have the effect of preventing the reasonable use of a clothesline for a residential property, meaning I can put it anywhere I want. C, this section does not prohibit an ordinance that would prohibit the location of clotheslines that are visible by a person on the ground and that face areas open to common or public access. Section 3, this act becomes effective October the 1st, 2009. Yep, there it is if y'all want it. There it is. Yep, public record. They printed it off for me and said, "You're a smart man, Mr. Dees." I said, "I know." I said, "Don't worry, it's going to get better when I put stickers on the back of my private car too." Oh, it's going to get real good. My neighbor next door thinks it's just getting started. Oh, no, hell no. Buddy, you in for a long process. I'm going to aggravate you like a bull on the crack of your ass where you can't pinch it real good to bust it. Yep. I'm going to aggravate the living shit out of you like a gnat flying around your face. Yeah. And old Asian lady, she's going to get in for a big treat too. Oh, and I told Town Hall, I said, this shit's already on YouTube. Wait till y'all see what I'm going to put on my damn roof. And I told them I'm going to put the HOA sucks on my roof, and I'm going to have a professional drone flyover video done. And I'm going to share it with the news, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, and I'm going to call the news channel and call them out here and get on their ass. And while I was at it, I went ahead and told my neighbor, I said, "Good luck calling your friends crying and whining. I done called my lawyer, bro. The best thing y'all can do is you better leave me alone. Or I'm going to own your house, the next house, the next house, the next house. I'm going to sue every one of you for harassment. Yeah, you are harassing me." And I told them that. And I told the town about it too. And they was like, "They don't got nothing better to do." I said, "No, they sure don't. You guys take care and have a great day, man." Oh, I had another person. He called me this morning. He said, "Man, you was right, dude. I put that Stetson 8K on my speakers and blew my goddamn amp in my speaker up, blew one of them." I said, "What'd you do with that Bruce Lee?" He said, "It's back in the car. That's the best amp I've ever had and I've ever purchased." He said, "I bought it from Duck a while back." And I said, "Yeah, I remember." I said, "I told you not to take the motherfucker out." He's like, "Man, motherfucker's bad as hell." I said, "I told you." So, guys, when you going to listen, man? I can show you these messages from people that have bought stuff from me, and they're going to tell you it's legit shit. It's just like I said it is. It's going to be badass. It is what it is. I have nothing but praise from everybody. It's all good. Yep. You guys take care and have a great day. See you.